Today we are getting into the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked palettes. I have here the Deer palette and the Swan palette. They are absolutely stunning palettes this year. I could not wait to get my hands on them. I have been so looking forward to filming with them, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put them all on the face. I'm going to show you comparisons between the two palettes. I'm sure you've all seen swatches and comparisons, but I just want to give you my take and show you how they perform on my 52-year-old skin. So let's get into it. I have been trying to find time to film, and we are doing it. We're diving right in. I'm talking about the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Unlocked palettes. I have the Deer palette and the Swan palette. I love that the box matches the artwork. So this is the Deer. Let me pull off the plastic. It's so pretty. Those shades are gorgeous. This is such a beautiful color story. I wanted to hold it up and compare to the Dragon palette. So this is the Dragon palette. And this is Deer. So they are, to me, they look similar. I mean, they're different, but the color story I think is kind of similar. Let's look at the Swan. Oh, I love this one. I could not resist this one, especially because of the packaging. Stunning. I love the Hourglass packages everything so securely. I buy a lot of makeup, obviously, and oftentimes things are just like thrown into boxes. I truly appreciate when things are packaged with care. Let's go ahead and remove this. So satisfying. So that is the Swan palette. These tones are absolutely gorgeous. The only thing that I am not super stoked about in this palette is the gold highlight. All of the other shades, though, look stunning. These are beautiful, beautiful palettes. I'm so impressed with just the look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do one on one side of my face and one on the other. I'm going to try to use all of the shades. Dreamlight, Aura Light, Diffused Bronze Light, which I have, Iridescent Strobe Light, Radiant Peach, and Vibrant Rose. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. Very happy with the finishing powders. It looks like they're quite neutral. Let's dig into this. I'm going to first start with Dreamlight, which looks to be the lightest. So I'm going to put this kind of right here, not necessarily under my eyes, but just maybe to brighten up a little right there. And it does look like it brightened up just a touch. So I'm going to take the other side of the brush, the clean side. I'm going to go into Aura Light. I'm just going to take it on my forehead. Just see kind of what it does on the skin there. I mean, you can't really see these. These are like finishing powders and they are my skin tone. So they're not going to do much. What I'm mostly looking for here is texture. So I am getting some texture here. I feel like I shouldn't have used this on top of my other powder. I should have just used it as my powder. I think these are meant to be your setting powders. I'm going to take Dreamlight and I'm going to go on the part of my face that is not set. I'm wearing the NATASHA DENONA foundation, by the way. And I'm just going to lightly set this area. It's not necessarily a brightening powder. I don't see any sheen. I mean, it does have like a very slight touch of reflectivity, but it's very soft. We're going to bronze. I am going to use my BK103 and we're going to go very softly into Diffused Bronze Light. I'm going to bronze up the face a bit. I do have this shade in another palette. It is a permanent shade in their range. It's a beautiful bronzer shade though. I'm happy to have it. The only issue is like getting my big bronzer brush in this tiny pan. It has the most beautiful glow. I absolutely love this bronzer. I just did an entire bronzer roundup. Included this at the end as kind of a bonus because it's not something that I have as a standalone. It's something that I have in my little custom palette. I had quite a few people tell me that they really liked the way that this one looked on my face and on the skin, and I have to agree. I think it's stunning. It's got that beautiful, like natural glow. I mean, Hourglass powders are some of the nicest powders on the market, full stop. We are going to use a BK115. We're going to go into the pink because it is the softest of these two shades, still pigmented, but the softest. And I'm just going to kind of lightly, very lightly go all around with that. It's like a warm pink, which are my favorites. I love a warm pink. I'm going to go in with Radiant Peach, just a little bit more concentrated. This is a little bit more of an intense shade, at least looking at the swatches here. So I'm just going to lightly dust that right here in the center. That's a beautiful shade. That is such a me shade. It goes perfectly with this eye look. This is, by the way, the Baroque palette by Chanel. I will link it below if I can find it in stock. I think it's a stunning eyeshadow palette. So now we're going to go in with a highlight. This is, again, iridescent strobe light. And I'm just going to try to go very lightly on top of the cheekbones. Okay, so that is every shade in the Dior palette applied on the face. And I think that it looks absolutely stunning on the skin. I knew that I was going to love this color story, and I do. Let's get into Swan. I had to pick up Swan. It's an absolutely stunning palette. This one has 3 blushes, 1 highlight, 1 what I would call finishing powder, and then 1 bronzer. This is Dim Light, which I have in my custom palette. It's a little bit dark for me. In the winter, I can use it as a soft bronzer. Today, what I'm gonna use it for is I'm gonna bronze, and then I'm gonna kind of soften up the edges of the bronzer. So we're gonna go in with natural bronze. I'm using my BK 103. We're gonna bronze up the face. So this bronzer right away is, of course, more pigmented, but it's also much warmer than diffused bronze light. It still looks really pretty. I'm going to grab Dim Light on a BK 104, and I'm going to go softly around the edges just to soften it up, or try. I'm going to leave it for the video just so we can see for demonstration purposes the shades. So we have 3 blushes here, which I am struggling. I'm going to get them all on my face. I love that we have 3 blushes. I just don't know exactly how to apply them. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the lightest Sunset Flush. I'm going in with a different BK 109, and I'm just going to softly kind of tap that everywhere. So that is gorgeous. That has a lot of gold reflectivity, like a very strong gold shift. This reminds me a lot of the Chanel Reset blush stick, coral blush stick with the gold reflect. It has a lot of sheen, like a whole lot. We're going to go in with Luminous Coral. I am taking an A507 by BK Beauty, and I'm going to dust it off on my wrist because I don't want to get too much. I'm just going to put that all over the cheek. That's got a lot of glow too. Here are the 2 blush shades that we've used so far. And now we're going to go in with this one. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. This is called Mauve Fusion. For that, I'm going to use this side of the BK Beauty and Nikki LaRose N17, and I'm going to try to get just a light dusting of it. I'm going to again dust it off on my wrist and just go like right here. That is a unique shade to my collection, not the typical standard tone that I go for. I'm gonna go in with a highlight, which I don't think is really, you know, it's not really my favorite shade. It looks very gold. Let me just, wow. It's beautiful. It's very blingy. I feel like that one is so much brighter than the Dior. Here are the swatches of both of those palettes. At the top, we have the Dior, the top row of the Dior, and then here we have the bottom row of Dior. Here we have the top row of Swan and the bottom row of Swan. These are all of the blushes. So I think you can see the differences in tone here. Here are the 2 highlight shades. As you can see, the highlight in Swan is much more blingy and intense. You can see it on my face as well. The highlight in the Dior palette is much softer. It's more of a frosty highlight. Think like a Prada highlight versus a Gucci highlight. It's gonna work really well for like mature skin, textured skin, because it's not super reflective. Like you can see there, it's not really shiny. Whereas this one, look at it on my face compared to the highlight here. You've got a glow here. This is like your lit from within glow. Maybe it looks like you're glowing from skincare. This looks like you're glowing from a highlight, which is still a vibe. I'm just trying to differentiate the 2, right? This is so much more intense, than this one. This one is just not emphasizing any texture. This one is. There's a definite, distinct difference in the bronzers. So here, the top one is the bronzer in Swan, and the bottom is the bronzer in Deer. As you can see, the Swan bronzer is much warmer and much deeper. And the diffuse bronze light in Deer is much lighter and rosier by comparison. The bronzer in Deer also has a sheen, which makes it absolutely gorgeous on the skin. This one has a soft sheen too. This shade is called Natural Bronze. This shade is Diffuse Bronze Light. Now I've got them both kind of softened out so you can get an idea of the tone. Now, even though this one is warmer, it's neutral by comparison to so many bronzers. Keep in mind, bronzers are very fresh on my brain because I just reviewed 17 of them. This one included in that lineup. Not this one. This is a new shade to me. And I do think it's absolutely stunning on the skin. I think blushes are a much more versatile product depending on how little or how much you use. The setting powders in Deer are very, very soft. You can blend them out. They disappear into nothing. They're very translucent. They're not very heavily pigmented, which is 100% what I prefer in like a finishing palette. In the Swan, you only get one of those, which is dim light. It doesn't look it on my finger because my fingers are quite red from swatches, but it's deeper than my skin tone, like a peachy nude shade. So by far the star of this palette, I mean, honestly, I love everything about it. The only thing that I'm not super stoked about is the highlight because it's very gold. You know, I can use this as an eyeshadow. You know, there's tons of ways that I can use a gold. It's just not my favorite as a highlight shade. However, the blushes in this palette, like that bright, vibrant coral, and this like soft golden peach, and then this shade right here is the entire reason why I picked up this palette. Outside of the artwork, right? Like this color, I knew I had to have this color. I think it's going to be stunning for fall. It's unique to my collection. It's an Hourglass powder, so you know it performs. Okay, so let's talk about these palettes. Probably if you have any Hourglass palettes or powders, you're probably going to run into some overlap. I don't mind the overlap. I don't think it's going to be something you're going to have a hard time using up or going through, especially if this is like your daily driver. In each palette, you're only getting 0.24 ounces of product total. This entire palette is the same size as the Givenchy bronzer, for example. I couldn't tell you which one of these I prefer. I prefer this one for the setting powder and the bronzer and the highlight. I prefer this one for the blushes. It's a tough call. I'm happy to have them both. I'm happy to have the versatility of both. You're not going to be disappointed in the formula. You're not going to be disappointed in the performance of these powders. They are exceptional powders. They really do perform beautifully on the skin. They are so easy to work with. They're so softly pigmented that they're really hard to mess up. This is just me, and I am only one person. But I think that these palettes are the most beautiful that I have seen in recent years. Like, I think that they are stunning. I love that the case matches all around on all sides. I think they're beautiful. I think the mirrors are really nice. They feel heavy. They feel luxurious. They're metal. They're not plastic. They're just gorgeous. So yeah, that is my thoughts on the Hourglass palettes. I think that they are, of course, a smash hit. I've always really loved the Hourglass powders. I just haven't ever really been into the palettes until last year when I fell in love with this packaging and picked up the Dragon palette. And then I was like, okay, I get it. The prices, like everything else, have gone up. They are limited edition. I would typically wait until the Sephora sale to pick them up. However, I don't know if they're going to last until the Sephora sale because I feel like these are so beautiful that people are going to snatch them up. That's just my thought. Again, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not trying to sell you on anything, but if you're considering them, I would go ahead and get them. That's just me. Let me know if you've picked these up. What are your thoughts on the Hourglass powders? Which palette did you get, if any? Or which palette are you considering if you're considering one? Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you soon in another one. And until then, please take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.